Hello, Capricorn. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, we're using the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann, Supportive Oracle cards, the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. Alright, let's get your stuff out here and see. Get all the cards out here before I... You got some fire going on this time round. Not bad. The thing is, Capricorn doesn't have a problem with fire as long as it's going the way they've decided it should go. You know, you guys are actually good with fire, I think. But it's kind of like, you know, when it's defined and it's where it's meant to be. You know, it has its place and its purpose. It's just kind of like, you know, I wouldn't see Capricorn with a crazy amount of candles all throughout the house, just randomly left here and there. They're kind of like, we can do a candle and it should be here, and maybe a couple more, but they need to be in safe places. Very thought out type energy. I don't know why we're going down that road, but there you go. Starting off with this situation. You've got interesting information. You got interesting energy, information. I'm getting a lot of information. Page of Swords, Three of Cups, which is a friend. Could be family. Could be family. I'm thinking friends usually, but I get like a family feel here. It could be a family feel to where it literally could be like technically friends, but there's people that you hang out with or have hung out with for so long that they feel like family, or you consider them family. That type of energy. You're going with the flow, and you're getting information. But like, it's interesting when it first starts off. It's just kind of like, well, that's interesting. This is how this starts. Like, you're absorbing information, and you're like, that's interesting. And you ask a few questions, you're like, that's pretty cool too. The thing is, you take this information, it kind of just sits in your brain for a couple days, and you're like, you know, I wonder if. And this is where it starts. I wonder if this could happen with that. I wonder if this could lead to that. I wonder if you put this together that way, if that would work. And you do some research. So it's just information that's nice. It's interesting. Yeah, that's kind of cool. But then you start researching some of it. You're not taking it overly serious at this point. But you're like, I wonder where that could go. This is basically the slow birth of the situation. Because you're kind of just flowing with it. Like, I'm interested. I'm not committing to anything. I'm not buying anything. I don't see you buying anything at this point. But I would like to know. I'm going to research it. You know, I got the internet. What the hell? Why not? I can find out some stuff. I want to. I'm gonna. Now, the thing is, the information you're gathering is about somebody else. According to this, it feels like about somebody else's failures. Or they might see it as failure. You might not, ironically. You might be hearing somebody's encounter with a situation and be like, yeah, they kind of went into that a little too fast. Or, yeah, they didn't plan that quite well. Sounds like a good idea. Sounds like something really cool, but I think they were a little bit overzealous in some of this. And I think if they just did it a little bit more reserved and a little bit more controlled, I think they actually could have done well with that. That might be how you're hearing it. When I'm getting the Five of Pentacles with the Lizard Spirit, somebody went into something a little bit too quickly. I love baking analogies, but I'm going to use actually a woodworking analogy for whatever reason. It's kind of like building a shelf, right? And somebody gets really excited that they want this type of shelf, and they got the router for it to cut little things on the boards, and they've got this cut out and that cut out, and they screw the little legs into the side so they can mount it to the wall, but it just doesn't sit right on the wall. And you're looking at this kind of like, yeah, they didn't really use a level like they should have, and they should have, you know, check the wall to see if the wall was correct for this first, and see how the shape of the wall is. Is the wall correct, or is it a little bit wonky? And they didn't really match up the legs correctly. Like, they just kind of put them on there. They should have put a couple extra screws in there. they should have like kind of made it more flush so it made more sense and it would stay and it could hold more securely. And I would have added a third leg in the middle because it's a little bit long, and I think that there's a stud in the wall there, I'm pretty sure, so that would have added support. So they ended up with kind of like a little bit of a wonky shelf, but you're like, you know what, they didn't go through all the steps they should have. And you're even looking at that last outcome and kind of like some of that might still be able to be salvaged. There's a lot of learning there, but it still might be good. It just needs to be kind of like tweaked a bit, cleaned up a bit. So, analogies. You're seeing this and you're kind of like, I'm going to bring this forward to this person. You got this, well, the wombat, it says be at home, right? But it seems like a very, I'm going to care for you. I see you did something, it didn't work out right. Let me come in, see if I can help you fix this. You're kind of offering your help. I'm kind of getting you're offering help with the wombat. I don't know if that makes sense with this. That's what I'm feeling. And it's the be at home, it's kind of like, this can go better. And actually, I would like to learn more about it now that I've researched it a little bit and I've thought about it a bit. I would like to help you correct this. Whoever this is. Okay. That is met with the Panther energy. I don't think this goes very far. I just don't think this goes very far. For some reason, it's just not matching. Either they're talking it out with you, like when I get the Panther energy, I know it says reclaim your power, but it may be one of those things where they feel challenged in the sense of like, you think you can do that better than me? Or it's kind of like they want to believe like it just wasn't going to work out. It just never was going to work out. It's just a crap project. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to think about it. It's over. I'm just moving on from it. So they might be either a little bit challenged, kind of like they feel like you're challenging them, like, oh, you could do better, or I don't want to deal with it anymore. It's just, I don't feel it, because I'm getting the Three of Swords right after it. They don't seem to accept your help. They just don't. And they feel like you're all right with it. Kind of like, I'm not, like, even if they have that response, like, oh, you think you can do better? You're like, no, not that's not where I'm going with this. I think you did well. I just think it could still be the level you want. I could just help you get it there. I think it has potential to be what you actually wanted it to be, so I want to help you make that happen. No. Three of Swords is, no. They're shutting the door. Either they just want to forget it ever happened, or they're just like, no, I don't need your help. They might have that attitude. It's fine. It seems like you kind of let that roll off your back. Like, okay, I didn't mean to overstep. And you got the Three of Wands here. Kind of like, you don't want my help? Got it. Cool. Get it. Fine. I'll move on. I'm moving on. And you leave them be. They don't want your help? Okay, then you're not going to give them obviously you're not going to give them your help. Okay, cool. But the thing is, this has sparked a fire for you. I think this is why I'm feeling this fire energy with you. It's sparked a fire. And the cat spirit comes out afterwards, and you're kind of like, I really think I could do better with that. I don't know why it's making me laugh, but it's kind of like, if they're bent out of shape, then I guess that's their problem. I'm just not going to walk away from this totally. I'm not going to bother them or touch their stuff. You're not going to get into their stuff, but you're like, you know what? I kind of want one of those shelves for my own house now. I think I really do think I could do it better, and I'm going to see if I can prove it. And it's not something like you're not doing it against anybody. You're just kind of like, I think I can prove it to myself. I think I can do this well. I think what I've been kind of figuring out, I still want to do it. Like, you still want to do it. Like, I have all these ideas. I wanted to help them. They don't want my help, but I can make my own shelf. And I think I would like one of those shelves in my house, and I think that would look really good. I could make use of that. I'm going to do this. The cat energy is like, I do what I want. That's cat energy to me. I do what I want. If you haven't seen my cat, Logan, which he's being good, I should shut up. Claim your independence. I do what I want. I do what I want. So you're going to do what you want. When it comes in next, you've got the Ace of Wands and the horse spirit, which is freedom. It says on there. Like when you think of a horse, that's interesting because I think of workhorses, but I also think of like people riding horses for show. If you think of them in the wild, they do what they want, they run around, they have a good time. Seems like their pack mentality as well, which I feel like that matches Capricorn. You could tell me I'm wrong. I don't know. Aren't you guys pack mentality? Maybe not. I don't know. You know what you are. It's not the point. The point is with the horse mentality, I'm excited. I'm ready to do something. I want to make this happen. But I'm getting like the mix of these 3 different types of versions of horse, like the work horse, the show horse, the wild horse. It's kind of like, I want to do this. I want to get out there and make something happen. But with the work horse and the show horse, there is restriction and there is like things have to be done a certain way, which perfectly makes sense to me for Capricorn. I do want to get involved. I'm excited. I want to go pretty far with this. There's a lot of ideas I'm considering, but I need to start. I want to start with the shelf thing. I want to see if I can actually make that happen. And who knows, if I can make this shelf work out the way I think I can, this could lead into other projects. And it's like this might be the beginning of something for you. Ace of Wands with the wild horse, kind of like I'm excited, I'm inspired. This might be a whole new arena for you. And this might not just be for recreation. This might be a lot more than that. Especially if this is a business thing and you're like, I think I can do that better. And you're finding a way to get involved in a different type of situation and put your situations into practice, your thoughts into practice. For a lot of you, I feel like this is something you're doing on your own though. And you're just creating a new interest and you're starting a new chapter of your life. This might bring a lot of joy. And usually it seems like this is not just a Capricorn, but like an earth thing. If you have hobbies, a lot of times there's opportunities to make those hobbies lucrative. So if it does start out as a hobby for you, it's a general read, I know. But if it does start out as a hobby, this could turn into something lucrative, something where I know of a person, and I think he is a Capricorn. He started doing stuff like that, and then he started doing things for other people, not as in like as a way to make a living, but as in a way to support the hobby, he would call it. So he would do things for other people, make money that way, and then he could invest more money into his hobby, but he's like, well, it's self-sufficient. I do stuff to put into that hobby, like it was a self-sufficient hobby as far as he was concerned. He could also do stuff for himself as he wanted to, and he would learn things, and like he would watch those shows, like the Bob Vila stuff. He was really good at it. I haven't seen him in years, but he was really good at it. I seem to remember him doing stuff for other people. I don't know how they paid him, but I think a lot of them did pay him. He was just really good at it. And he's Capricorn. So, like, it may turn out that way. Because I'm getting, like, there's more things coming in and more people seem to be watching and they can't do what you do. And it's funny because I feel like you're looking at it like, to you it's like, well, you just got to follow the basic steps. But for some people, it's hard. It's like your brain trips. And it's like, you can follow all those steps because you're like 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6. And people get excited and they can't wait to get it done, that they're like, they'll skip a step here and there and not realize they did. So they think they can't do it. It's not that they couldn't do it, but it would take them a lot longer to get up to speed to where you are. So they just feel like they can't do it. And I feel like if you're looking at this person, well, if you put the time and dedication into it, you probably could. It's not worth the argument because I feel like you already know. But the thing is, people are going to see what you can do and they're going to want to be a part of it. But they might ask you to do some stuff for them. This is going to be something that goes farther and gets stronger the longer it goes. When I feel Rhino, I think strength. It says overcome obstacles, but I'm getting like overcome any obstacle. I'm getting like opportunities. You're showing your strength. Like whatever you're doing here, you're doing it, but people are like, wow, you do that well. Not just talent, but like, I mean, talent, obviously, because you probably have a lot of talent with whatever you're doing, but it's kind of like the stability of it as well, which is very much an Earth thing, very much a Capricorn thing, Capricorn being Earth. This is going to keep going. This is like the beginning of something that's going to take you places and may give you opportunities you were not expecting. This could be a beautiful thing. Whatever it is, I feel like they're just kind of saying, go for it. Go for it. Do what you want to do. Like, do the research. The more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. And in the very beginning, I feel like they're just saying, set your pace to where you really want it to be. Because once you start a pace, you'll probably stick with the pace. So, for example, if you're doing this once or twice a month, you'll probably stick with that once or twice a month thing. If you'd like to do it longer, more often than that, then push yourself to that limit. You will probably create that pattern and get more out of this situation. Just because also I said that this is probably not going to be a main income doesn't mean it can't be. If you want to push it there, and I think this is a big piece of this reading, if you want to push whatever this is to a main income, start heading in that direction and start looking at options and just start learning things. Probably won't happen in 2 minutes, probably a few years, but you guys are usually patient, and the more you learn, the better you do, the more you make. So you decide. I think they're saying at this point, you decide how far you want this to go, because at this point you're setting your limit at this point. I feel like you are setting your limit. So if you decide this will be hobby and hobby only, you will get that far and you won't go farther. Because you're setting that now, and you'll keep yourself to that. If you're like, I want to make this a main income, but I need to do all these things, you'll set that intention now, and that will be where you what you will attain. I knew there was something. I'm like, there's something here I'm missing, but they're saying you're setting your goal now. Set your goal, you will attain it, but realize literally for some reason, and I think it's because you're Capricorn, whatever you set now, that's what you're going to hold yourself to. Could you change your goal later? Yes. It's just not as easy as it is right now. It's just not very hard to do that now, because it's going to set up your whole path. Your rate of learning, what you allow to come towards you, what you keep from coming towards you, it's going to set up the whole schism. So it's kind of like, like if you're deciding like I'm going to travel, if you're like I'm going to travel to California, I'm in New York. So I'm going to travel to California, you're like, okay, that's where I'm going to California. So on your way to California, you're likely to stay with that goal. If you're setting your goal from the very beginning, you're like, no, I want to go to Hawaii, which is much farther, as far as I'm concerned. You're going to like keep going until you get to Hawaii. If you get halfway to California, you're not going to be like, I'd prefer Hawaii. Like it's just not gonna. It just doesn't seem to mesh. Like, no, my goal is California, and you're gonna keep yourself to the California goal. You may change your mind and want Hawaii, but you're probably gonna hold yourself to the California goal. I feel like for those it's gonna hit with you. Understand what I'm saying? So, do what you need to do with it. Enjoy it. I'm gonna shut this down here. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email. jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4 astral@gmail.com. Thank you.